A good woman does not disappear to be loved. There was once a woman who gave so much of herself that one day when she looked in the mirror, she did not recognize the face looking back at her. She was still smiling. She was still serving. She was still answering messages. She was still making peace. She was still carrying everyone's emotions like a basket on her back. But deep inside, something had gone silent. Not peaceful, silent. Broken, silent. The kind of silence that comes when a woman has said it's okay too many times when it was not okay. The kind of silence that comes when she has forgiven people who never even understood how deeply they wounded her. The kind of silence that comes when she is praised for being patient, but no one asks how heavy that patience has become. And one night, while everyone slept, she sat alone. No audience, no applause, no one calling her strong, no one calling her kind, no one calling her a good woman. Just her and Allah. And for the first time in a long time, she whispered from a place nobody else could reach, "My Lord, I tried to be good, but why do I feel like I lost myself?" My sister, listen carefully. This reminder is not telling you to stop being kind. It is not telling you to become cold. It is not telling you to become selfish, harsh, or proud. No. A believing woman is gentle. A believing woman has mercy. A believing woman carries beauty in her character. But Islam did not come to turn you into someone's emotional servant. Islam did not come to teach you that your worth is measured by how much pain you can silently swallow. Islam did not come to tell you that loving people means destroying the soul Allah gave you. You can be soft without being weak. You can forgive without allowing repeated harm. You can love without begging. You can serve without becoming invisible. You can be patient without letting people misuse your patience. You can be a good woman, my sister, but never lose yourself for anyone. Because the self you are losing is not something cheap. It is a trust from Allah. Your heart is a trust. Your mind is a trust. Your dignity is a trust. Your time is a trust. Your body is a trust. Your faith is a trust. Your peace is a trust. And one day you will stand before Allah not with the question, did everyone approve of you? But with the question of how you carried what He entrusted to you. So do not let any person make you feel religious for neglecting yourself. Do not let any relationship make you feel guilty for having boundaries. Do not let any voice convince you that your pain does not matter because you are expected to be strong. My sister, strength is not pretending you are not bleeding. Strength is knowing when to stop handing the knife back to the person who keeps cutting you. The world may praise the woman who never complains, but Allah knows the woman who is breaking inside. There is a kind of woman people admire only because she makes their lives easier. She never says no. She never asks for much. She apologizes even when she is the one hurt. She makes excuses for people who repeatedly disappoint her. She lowers her voice so others can keep raising theirs. She keeps the family together, keeps the friendship alive, keeps the marriage breathing, keeps the room calm, keeps everyone comfortable. And people say, she is such a good woman. But sometimes what they really mean is she never makes us face ourselves. My sister, be careful. Sometimes people call you good because you are growing in righteousness. But sometimes people call you good because you are convenient. There is a difference. A righteous woman obeys Allah. A convenient woman is controlled by people. A righteous woman has mercy. A convenient woman fears rejection. A righteous woman forgives for the sake of Allah. A convenient woman forgives because she is afraid to lose someone. A righteous woman is patient with wisdom. A convenient woman suffers without limits because she thinks pain is proof of love. This is where many good-hearted women get trapped. They confuse being pleasing to Allah with being pleasing to everyone. They confuse mercy with self-erasure. They confuse humility with silence in the face of humiliation. They confuse sacrifice with destroying themselves. My sister, Allah sees what people do not see. He sees when your kindness is pure. He sees when your heart is tired. He sees when you smile in front of people but cry when the door closes. He sees when you keep giving, not because you are full, but because you are afraid that if you stop, someone will leave. And today, perhaps this reminder is reaching you because Allah is teaching you a truth that may save your heart. A good woman is not a woman without limits. A good woman is a woman whose limits are guided by faith. Look at the creation around you. Even the ocean has a shore. Even the night has an ending. Even the heart needs rest. Even the body needs sleep. Even worship has balance. Because Allah does not want you to destroy yourself in the name of devotion. Then why do you think love requires you to have no boundary? Why do you think family means you must accept every insult? Why do you think marriage means you must bury your voice? Why do you think friendship means you must always be available? Why do you think being a daughter, a mother, a sister, or a wife means you cannot be tired? My sister, your tiredness is not a sin. Your sadness is not weakness. Your need for space is not rebellion. Your dignity is not arrogance. Your boundary is not cruelty. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is step back before resentment poisons your heart. Because if you keep giving from an empty soul, one day you may look at the people you love and feel bitterness instead of mercy. And that is not what Allah wants for you. Allah wants your heart alive, not used, not crushed, not emotionally starved, alive. The right people will not require you to abandon your soul. There are people who love you only when you are easy to control. They like the version of you that stays quiet. They like the version of you that never questions. They like the version of you that keeps forgiving without change. They like the version of you that gives them access to your heart, your time, your energy, your emotions, and your loyalty, but never asks them to respect the cost. Then one day, you begin to heal. You begin to pray with tears, not just words. You begin to ask Allah for clarity. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to see that some people do not love your goodness. They benefit from it. You begin to realize that every time you try to express your pain, they made you feel guilty for having feelings. Every time you asked for respect, they said you changed. Every time you stepped back, they called you proud. Every time you stopped over-explaining, they said you became cold. But perhaps you did not become cold. Perhaps you became awake. My sister, do not be afraid when the wrong people dislike your healing. Some people were comfortable with your broken version, because your brokenness gave them power. When you were insecure, they could manipulate you. When you were lonely, they could neglect you and still keep you waiting. When you did not know your worth, they could give you crumbs and watch you call it love. When you were afraid of abandonment, they could threaten silence and make you run after them. But when Allah begins to return you to yourself, the dynamic changes. You stop begging for attention. You stop explaining pain to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop romanticizing inconsistency. You stop confusing emotional chaos with deep connection. You stop carrying relationships alone, and suddenly they say, you are not the same anymore. No, my sister, you are not. And sometimes that is a mercy, because the right people do not need you to disappear to feel loved. The right people do not punish you for having a voice. The right people do not make you choose between your peace and their approval. The right people help you become closer to Allah, not further from yourself. This is very important. Any love that pulls you away from Allah is not love worth losing yourself for. Any attachment that makes you neglect your prayers, your modesty, your self-respect, your family duties, your emotional health, or your obedience to Allah is not a blessing just because it feels intense. Intensity is not always a sign of destiny. Sometimes intensity is a test. Sometimes the heart becomes attached to what harms it, because the wound inside is searching for comfort. And that is why you must ask Allah not only to give you love, but to purify your understanding of love. Love in Islam is not chaos dressed as romance. Love is mercy. Love is responsibility. Love is honesty. Love is protection. Love is self-control. Love is a path that helps both souls become better before Allah. So if someone only loves you when you are breaking yourself for them, then they do not love the real you. They love the access your brokenness gives them. And my sister, you were not created to be someone's endless emotional supply. You were created to worship Allah, to live with dignity, to grow in faith, to give with wisdom, and to meet your Lord with a heart that was not sold cheaply to people who never valued it. Stop calling it saber when it is actually self-neglect. There is a word many people use when they want a woman to keep suffering quietly. They tell her, be patient. And yes, patience is beautiful. Patience is beloved to Allah. Patience is strength. Patience is light. Patience is needed in marriage, family, motherhood, friendship, illness, hardship, and every serious part of life. But my sister, patience does not mean allowing oppression. Patience does not mean accepting constant disrespect. Patience does not mean hiding abuse. Patience does not mean pretending harm is harmless. Patience does not mean you have no right to seek help. Patience does not mean staying silent while your faith, mind, and heart are being destroyed. There is a patience that brings you closer to Allah, and there is a silence that slowly buries you. Do not confuse them. A woman may say, I am being patient, but in reality she is afraid of being judged, afraid of being blamed, afraid of starting again, afraid of disappointing people, afraid of being called difficult, afraid of being alone, afraid that nobody will believe her, afraid that if she speaks, everything will fall apart. But my sister, sometimes things need to be exposed before they can be healed. Not every hidden pain is noble. Some hidden pain becomes a prison. Islam teaches justice. Islam teaches mercy. Islam teaches responsibility. Islam teaches that no one has the right to harm another soul and then use religion as a cover. If someone is hurting you, you are allowed to seek wise help. You are allowed to speak to someone trustworthy. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are allowed to make decisions with prayer, knowledge, and dignity. You are allowed to stop pretending you are fine. And please understand this clearly. A good woman does not become bad because she refuses to be mistreated. A respectful woman does not become arrogant because she asks for respect. A patient woman does not become rebellious because she says, this is harming me. A believing woman does not lose her faith because she admits, I cannot carry this alone. Sometimes the strongest sentence a woman can say is not loud. It is calm. It is steady. It is full of dignity. I will not let this continue. And if your heart trembles when you say it, that does not mean you are wrong. It means you are learning to stand after years of shrinking. My sister, some people may use your goodness against you. They know you fear Allah, so they expect you to forgive endlessly. They know you care about family, so they expect you to carry the pain quietly. They know you hate conflict, so they push your limits. They know you are soft-hearted, so they make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. But the believer is not foolish. The believer is merciful but aware. The believer is soft but not blind. The believer forgives but learns. The believer loves but does not worship people. Patience is not losing yourself. Patience is holding on to Allah while you do what is right. Sometimes patience means staying and building. Sometimes patience means speaking and correcting. Sometimes patience means leaving what is destroying your faith. Sometimes patience means not reacting immediately. Sometimes patience means taking time to make a wise decision. But patience never means accepting humiliation as your permanent identity. Allah honored you. Do not cooperate with anyone who teaches you to dishonor yourself. Your heart is not a place for everyone to enter. My sister, one reason good women lose themselves is because they give sacred access to careless people. They tell everyone everything. They explain every wound. They open their deepest fears to people who have no gentleness. They share their pain with those who are curious, not caring. They give their emotional secrets to people who later use them as weapons. Then they wonder why their heart feels unsafe. Your heart is not a public road. Your soul is not a room where everyone can walk in with dirty shoes. Your inner world is precious. It must be guarded. A believing woman does not hide because she is fake. She guards because she is valuable. Think of a pearl. It is not lying because it is inside a shell. Think of a garden. It is not cruel because it has a gate. Think of a home. It is not arrogant because it has a door. So why do you think your heart should have no protection? There are people who do not deserve the full story. There are people who do not deserve your emotional details. There are people who do not deserve repeated access after repeated betrayal. There are people you can forgive from a distance. There are people you can pray for without letting them back into the most private corners of your life. This is not hatred. This is wisdom. My sister, some of you have spent years trying to prove your heart to people who are not even qualified to hold it. You keep saying, but they know me. No, sometimes they know your history, but they do not know your value. They know what happened to you, but they do not know what Allah placed inside you. They know your weakness, but they do not know your worth. They know your mistakes, but they do not know your repentance. They know your tears, but they do not know the honor Allah may be preparing for you. So stop handing your soul to people who only know how to reduce you. Your relationship with Allah must become the deepest place in your life. Not people, not validation, not compliments, not someone's mood, not someone's approval, not someone's attention. Allah first. Because when Allah is first, people return to their proper size. A person can disappoint you, but they cannot destroy you. A person can misunderstand you, but they cannot define you. A person can leave you, but they cannot empty you. A person can reject you, but they cannot remove what Allah wrote for you. When Allah becomes the anchor, you stop drowning in every human reaction. And this is where your strength begins. Not the strength of anger, not the strength of revenge, not the strength of becoming hard, but the strength of a woman who knows, my Lord sees me, my Lord knows me, my Lord is enough for me. I will not sell my peace for temporary approval. My sister, you are allowed to be private. You are allowed to heal quietly. You are allowed to stop announcing your pain to people who only clap when you collapse. You are allowed to keep some doors closed. And sometimes the most powerful healing begins when you stop giving everyone the map to your heart. Being loved should not make you feel less like yourself. There is a dangerous kind of attachment that enters slowly. At first, it feels like care. Then it becomes dependency. At first, you are happy someone notices you. Then you become afraid they will stop. At first, you enjoy their messages. Then your whole mood depends on their reply. At first, you feel chosen. Then you start abandoning your own values just to remain chosen. This is how some women lose themselves. Not all at once, a little at a time. You stop saying what you really think. You stop doing what brings you closer to Allah. You stop spending time with people who genuinely love you. You stop taking care of your body. You stop sleeping properly. You stop smiling naturally. You stop dressing, speaking, thinking, and living with the dignity you once had. And one day you realize, I did not fall in love. I fell into fear. Fear of being replaced. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. My sister, love should not make you feel smaller. Love should not make you feel spiritually dirty. Love should not make you lie. Love should not make you hide from Allah. Love should not make you lose your self-respect. Love should not make you desperate. Yes, love may test you. Marriage may test you. Family may test you. Relationships may require sacrifice. But a relationship that constantly pulls you away from your Lord and your dignity is not something to romanticize. Sometimes what you call love is actually a wound asking to be chosen. And this is why your healing matters. Because when a woman does not know her worth with Allah, she starts begging people to give her a worth they were never created to provide. No husband can replace Allah. No man can replace Allah. No friend can replace Allah. No child can replace Allah. No parent can replace Allah. No human being can carry the weight of being your source, your identity, your peace, your purpose, and your reason to exist. That place belongs only to Allah. When you put people in the place of Allah, you become terrified of losing them. And when you are terrified of losing someone, you may start losing yourself to keep them. You may accept what you once said you would never accept. You may ignore red flags. You may silence your conscience. You may excuse cruelty. You may chase after someone who has already shown you their heart is not safe. You may call it loyalty, but deep inside it is fear. My sister, return your heart to Allah, not in words only. In dependence, in trust, in obedience. In the quiet place where you stop saying, I cannot live without this person, and begin saying, my Lord, I cannot live without you. That is freedom. When Allah is your center, love becomes healthier. You can love deeply without worshipping the relationship. You can care without being controlled. You can give without being emptied. You can stay when staying is right. You can leave when leaving is necessary. You can forgive without becoming available for the same wound again. You can say, I love you without saying, I will destroy myself so you do not leave. That is not selfish. That is faith with dignity. And dignity is not a decoration. It is part of how a believer walks through life. Allah did not create you only to be needed by people. Some women only feel valuable when someone needs them. If nobody asks for help, they feel useless. If nobody depends on them, they feel empty. If nobody is calling, crying, complaining, demanding, or leaning on them, they do not know what to do with themselves. So they become addicted to being needed. They mistake exhaustion for purpose. They mistake emotional labor for love. They mistake being everyone's helper for being spiritually successful. My sister, helping people is beautiful. Serving your family is beautiful. Supporting others is beautiful. Being generous is beautiful. But you were not created only to be useful to people. You were created to know Allah. You were created to worship Allah. You were created to grow in faith. You were created to become a soul of beauty, wisdom, mercy, and truth. Your value does not disappear when you rest. Your worth does not decrease when you say no. Your purpose does not vanish when you cannot fix everyone. You are not a machine for solving other people's problems. You are not a hospital where every wounded person can come and leave their pain inside you. You are not responsible for controlling everyone's emotions. You are not responsible for saving people who refuse to change. You are not responsible for being available every time someone chooses chaos. Sometimes good women become emotionally tired because they keep trying to play a role only Allah can play. They try to guide someone who rejects guidance. They try to heal someone who keeps choosing harm. They try to save someone who enjoys being rescued but refuses to stand. They try to make someone love them properly by giving more, forgiving more, sacrificing more, crying more. But my sister, you cannot love someone into becoming righteous if they do not want righteousness. You cannot sacrifice someone into becoming grateful if their heart is arrogant. You cannot suffer someone into becoming gentle if they refuse to fear Allah in how they treat you. You can advise, you can pray, you can support, you can be patient. But you cannot become someone's substitute conscience. Do not carry what Allah did not command you to carry. Some burdens are tests. Some burdens are responsibilities. But some burdens are things you picked up because you were afraid to disappoint people. And this is where you must ask yourself honestly, did Allah ask me to carry this? Or did my fear ask me to carry this? That question can change your life. Because many women are not tired from obedience to Allah. They are tired from obeying guilt. They are tired from obeying fear. They are tired from obeying people's expectations. They are tired from obeying the voice that says, if you stop, they will think you are bad. My sister, let them think. You cannot live your life as a prisoner of what people may think. You cannot sacrifice your health, your prayer, your peace, your motherhood, your studies, your work, your marriage, your healing, your future, and your relationship with Allah just to maintain an image of being endlessly available. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught balance through his life. He fulfilled rights. He showed mercy. He served. He prayed. He led. But he also taught that the body has a right, the family has a right, the soul has a right, and worship itself must be balanced. So why are you treating yourself like you have no rights? Your soul has a right over you. Your health has a right over you. Your faith has a right over you. Your future has a right over you. And if you keep neglecting all of that to please everyone, you may one day realize you became loved by people but distant from the self Allah wanted you to become. Do not let that happen. A good woman knows when to walk away with dignity. There comes a moment in a woman's life when she must stop confusing loyalty with self-betrayal. She must stop saying, but I have been here for so long, when the place she is staying in is slowly destroying her. She must stop saying, but I gave so much, as though giving more will bring back what was never truly honored. She must stop saying, but what will people say? When people did not live her tears, did not carry her nights, did not hear her silent prayers, and will not answer for her soul before Allah. My sister, walking away is not always defeat. Sometimes walking away is obedience to the truth you can no longer deny. Walking away from disrespect is not arrogance. Walking away from manipulation is not cruelty. Walking away from a cycle that keeps breaking your faith is not weakness. Walking away from someone who only values you when you are useful is not betrayal. Sometimes walking away is the moment your soul finally stops begging to be seen by blind hearts. But walk away correctly. Do not walk away with revenge in your chest. Do not walk away with arrogance on your tongue. Do not walk away to prove your worth to them. Do not walk away to make them suffer. Walk away with Allah watching. Walk away with prayer. Walk away with advice from wise people when the matter is serious. Walk away with dignity. Walk away with honesty. Walk away with a clean heart as much as you are able. Because a believing woman does not heal by becoming cruel. She heals by becoming clear. There is a difference. Cruelty says, I want to hurt you because I am hurt. Clarity says, I will not let this continue because Allah gave me dignity. Cruelty wants revenge. Clarity wants peace. Cruelty is loud. Clarity is firm. Cruelty becomes what harmed it. Clarity refuses to become what harmed it. My sister, do not let pain turn you into the type of person you once prayed to be protected from. Let pain teach you. Let pain soften you toward the innocent. Let pain make you wiser with the harmful. Let pain bring you closer to Allah. Let pain reveal what needs to change. But do not let pain steal your light. Some women, after being hurt, say, I will never be kind again. No, my sister. Be kind, but be kind with wisdom. Be loving, but be loving with boundaries. Be trusting, but be trusting with discernment. Be forgiving, but be forgiving with memory. Be generous, but be generous without abandoning yourself. Because the goal is not to become hard. The goal is to become whole. And wholeness is when your mercy and your dignity sit together, not fighting each other, not cancelling each other, together. The woman who returns to Allah returns to herself. There is a return that no one sees. It is not posted. It is not announced. It does not come with dramatic words. It happens quietly. A woman wakes up and decides, I cannot keep living like this. She starts praying with attention again. She starts guarding what enters her ears and eyes. She starts choosing silence over arguments that drain her. She starts making her room peaceful. She starts sleeping earlier. She starts eating better. She starts walking away from conversations that poison her heart. She starts asking Allah for guidance before asking people for opinions. She starts reading words that revive her faith. She starts taking care of her appearance not to attract attention, but because she remembers she is worthy of care. She starts speaking to herself with mercy. She stops calling herself stupid for loving deeply. She stops blaming herself for not knowing then what she knows now. She stops reopening old wounds just to feel connected to someone who hurt her. She stops waiting for apologies that may never come. She stops needing everyone to understand her story. She begins to understand that Allah knows, and that is enough. This is the return. And my sister, when a woman returns to Allah, she slowly returns to herself. Not the old self that was naive. Not the broken self that begged. Not the exhausted self that had no boundaries. A new self. A clearer self. A softer but stronger self. A woman who can say, I am still kind, but I am no longer careless with my heart. A woman who can say, I still love, but I do not lose Allah for anyone. A woman who can say, I still forgive, but I do not keep standing where I am repeatedly harmed. A woman who can say, I still care, but I will not carry what was never mine to carry. This is beautiful. This is growth. This is not becoming selfish. This is becoming responsible before Allah. Because losing yourself is not romantic. It is dangerous. When you lose yourself, your worship suffers. Your decisions suffer. Your emotional judgment suffers. Your relationships suffer. Your health suffers. Your ability to mother, serve, work, study, and live with sincerity suffers. And slowly, you begin to resent the very people you once loved. But when you return to Allah, you begin to give from a place of strength again. Your kindness becomes cleaner. Your love becomes wiser. Your patience becomes healthier. Your boundaries become calmer. Your silence becomes peaceful, not fearful. Your presence becomes more rooted. You stop living as a reaction to people. You start living as a servant of Allah. That is the difference. And this is why a good woman must protect her inner world, because the world will ask for pieces of you endlessly. People will ask for your time. Your family will ask for your strength. Your children may ask for your patience. Your spouse may ask for your mercy. Your friends may ask for your listening. Your work may ask for your energy. Life will keep asking. But if you never return to Allah to be refilled, you will keep pouring from emptiness until bitterness enters the cup. So go back to Allah daily, not only when you are shattered, not only when someone leaves, not only when life closes the door. Go back when you are happy. Go back when you are confused. Go back when you are tired. Go back when you feel unseen. Go back when you are tempted to lose yourself for someone's love. Go back and say in your own words, my Lord, keep my heart gentle, but do not let it be foolish. Keep me loving, but do not let me be lost. Keep me patient, but do not let me accept what harms my faith. Make me good for your sake, not broken for people's approval. That kind of prayer changes a woman, not always in one night, but slowly, deeply, beautifully. The most beautiful woman is not the one everyone can control. My sister, society may celebrate the woman who is always available, always smiling, always saying yes, always carrying pain silently, always adjusting, always shrinking, always making herself smaller so others do not feel uncomfortable. But Allah loves truth. Allah loves sincerity. Allah loves justice. Allah loves mercy. Allah loves dignity. So do not build your womanhood on people's comfort. Build it on obedience to Allah. Be the woman who brings peace, but not at the cost of truth. Be the woman who forgives, but not because she has no standards. Be the woman who loves deeply, but not blindly. Be the woman who serves, but does not worship being needed. Be the woman who respects others, but does not accept being degraded. Be the woman who is modest, but not voiceless. Be the woman who is humble, but not self-hating. Be the woman who is soft, but not easily used. Be the woman who is quiet when silence is wisdom and firm when speech is required. That is not contradiction. That is maturity. A woman of faith is not one color only. She is mercy and courage. She is softness and strength. She is patience and clarity. She is love and limits. She is surrender to Allah, not surrender to every demand people place on her. And perhaps this is the message your heart needed today. You do not need to become less kind. You need to become more rooted. You do not need to stop loving. You need to stop abandoning yourself in the name of love. You do not need to become cold. You need to stop giving sacred warmth to people who only know how to burn. You do not need to prove your worth. You need to remember who gave it to you. The one who created you did not make a mistake when he gave you a heart that feels deeply, but he also gave you guidance so that deep feeling does not become deep suffering without wisdom. Your softness is a gift. Protect it. Your mercy is a gift. Purify it. Your loyalty is a gift. Place it where it is honored. Your love is a gift. Do not throw it into hands that treat it like it is ordinary. Your life is a trust. Do not spend it begging to be valued by people who benefit from you, but do not cherish you. And if you are listening to this with a tired heart, feeling like you have already lost too much of yourself, then hear this. You can come back. You can rebuild. You can become whole again. You can ask Allah to restore what pain took from you. You can learn boundaries without guilt. You can heal without hatred. You can be gentle again without being naive. You can smile again without pretending. You can love again without disappearing. You can be good again, but this time with wisdom. Maybe the old version of you had to break so the wiser version could rise. Maybe you were not losing yourself forever. Maybe Allah was letting you see what happens when you build your identity on people, so you could finally rebuild it on Him. Maybe the pain that made you feel worthless is the same pain that will teach you your worth was never in their hands. My sister, do not give people the authority Allah never gave them. They do not decide your value. They do not decide your future. They do not decide whether you are lovable. They do not decide whether you are enough. They do not decide whether Allah can honor you after what you went through. Allah decides. And when Allah honors a woman, no rejection can erase it. When Allah lifts a woman, No insult can bury her. When Allah heals a woman, no memory can own her forever. When Allah strengthens a woman, she can stand in the same world that once broke her and no longer beg it to treat her gently before she believes she is worthy. She knows, not with arrogance, with faith. She knows her Lord did not abandon her. She knows her tears were seen. She knows her patience was not wasted. She knows her heart still has a future. She knows being good does not mean being gone from herself. So be a good woman. Be the kind of woman whose presence reminds people of mercy. Be the kind of woman whose words carry warmth. Be the kind of woman whose faith is visible in how she treats others. Be the kind of woman who forgives when forgiveness is right. Be the kind of woman who serves when service is sincere. Be the kind of woman who loves in a way that pleases Allah. But never lose yourself for anyone. Do not lose your prayer for anyone. Do not lose your dignity for anyone. Do not lose your peace for anyone. Do not lose your modesty for anyone. Do not lose your mind trying to understand someone who enjoys confusing you. Do not lose your heart chasing someone who only values you when you are leaving. Do not lose your relationship with Allah trying to keep a relationship with creation. The people who are meant for you in a good way will not require the death of your soul as proof of love. They will respect your boundaries. They will care about your faith. They will listen when you are hurt. They will correct themselves when they are wrong. They will not use your goodness as a weapon against you. And those who only loved your brokenness may leave when you become whole. Let them. Because sometimes Allah removes people not because you are being punished, but because your healing needs space. Sometimes Allah lets the wrong people become uncomfortable with your boundaries so you can finally see who benefited from your lack of them. Sometimes Allah lets you be misunderstood so you stop worshipping explanation. Sometimes Allah